Hello, Tullians out there. Today I've got a lesson that probably is just for you hardcore fans out there. I, not too long ago, did a whole acoustic arrangement of side one of Thick as a Brick. And I have in previous tutorials, I've gone through the major acoustic guitar sections of that. So what I'm going to do today is, for the hardcore fans out there, is I'm going to show you how I arrange the instrumental sections in between. Now I haven't been playing this much. In fact, I just kind of refreshed my memory on this afternoon. So you'll have to bear with me on some of the accuracy issues. But what we're going to do is, I've already done the tutorial up to spin me back down the years and the days of my youth. So I've already gone through that. So that's where I stopped with the lesson. So let me walk you through that section. Now the chords that underpin that, even though the section is dominated by Martin Barre's guitar riff, and the bass is doing that as well, but the chords underpinning this are the A minor, D, and G. See, their son is born, we pronounce him fit to fight. There are blackheads on his shoulders, and he pees himself in the night. We'll make a man of him, put him to the trade. Teach him, play Monopoly and how to sing in the rain. Well, that wasn't too clean, but you know, you get the idea. Alright, so yeah, the chords once again during the vocal part. Now Martin Barre's guitar riff goes like that. So if you want to know how to play that, we start on the open A. Alright, so that's the guitar riff that's dominating this section, but once again the chords underpinning that are the A minor, D, and G. Now when it gets to the so those are really the chords that they're playing, the E major, D major, F major, and back to E major. Alright, so that's pretty difficult to play those whole chords at tempo. So what I'm doing here is I'm just playing these fourths here. So for the E chord, I'm just playing the fifth of the chord and the root. So you can see with those fourths, I outline the E chord, the D chord, the F chord, and then back to the E chord. So that's going to be much easier to play at tempo. So the rhythm of this is and then back to the C, back to the D. So that's a tricky little rhythm to play at tempo. I'm having trouble myself here, but you get the idea. So anyway, you can tell I haven't been practicing yet, but that's how you play that section. And then when it gets to the teach him to play Monopoly and how to sing in the rain. So these are all going to be bar chords. We're starting here, coming down, and going back up. And we're just going to repeat that pattern coming down in whole steps. And then we hang on this one before going back to the A minor. Alright, so now we're into that big instrumental jam, improvisational piece in the middle. So I had to figure out what to do with this, and what I elected to do, this modulates around a little bit during the jam, but basically I just played 4 bars or 4 times through the and then it goes to to this B minor shape, and I just went back and forth between the B minor and the A chord. I just did that twice, and then you kind of hang on the A chord, so there I'm playing the open E string, going up to a G, strum a G chord. This is not exactly what Martin Barre is doing, but close enough. So you just slide into that G shape. And then it's just hammer-ons, pull-offs on the B string, G string, D string, and then to A. So didn't do that cleanly, but that's the idea. And then the acoustic guitar comes in here with a suspended A chord. And then it goes to a C major 7, does one of those raked up strokes. Right, and then the next chord after the C major 7, it's like a F chord, F major 7, except if you raise your index finger off the B string and play it open, you get that nice dissonant chord there. And then we're back to a couple of times of the A minor, D, G, and then so we're on the C and the D chord. Drop out and just play the single note. And then you've got that funky chord going into the transition into the next section. So this chord is you're playing the D string, G string open, fretting the B string here and the E string here, and the bass guitar is playing this note. So you end up with that. All right, so that's the chord that transitions. All right, and then you've got that on the bottom E string, E minor, so we're coming up E minor, D with the third in the bass, to G, to A minor, B major, D major, then when we come up to the B, we suspend it with our the B string momentarily. So I just went right into the singing there, you know. Poet and the painter, casting shadows on the water, as the sun plays on the infantry. Returning is on A, and then you go to a B major. The doer and the thinker, no allowance for the other, as the failing light illuminates the mercenary's creed. The home fire burning, the kettle almost boiling, but the master of the house, this time we throw a C chord, is far away. The horse is stamping, their warm breath clouding in the sharp and frosty morning of the dead day. And the poet sheathes his pen while the soldier laces his sword. Okay, what are we doing there? We're playing this. There's just a lot of major chords in this, so we're starting here with this bar chord, down to this, and then so we just play those two bar chords. But when we get to this next one, it sounds like they're going to a different chord, but it's just that the bass guitar is shifting down to the lower, the fifth. The soldier sheathes his sword. The youngest of the family is moving with authority. Coming. So now we go to this B shape. Slide it up one fret. He challenges the sun. So once again, these are all bar chords. Puts him to the run. So see how we're just playing all these major bar chords. So I'm just playing all that on the A string. So it goes into that little instrumental section. That's E minor. And then you play a G chord with the third in the bass, with the two strings fretted here. And then you play the D chord. So we got the suspended D chord. Alright, so I'm playing Martin Barr ends it, you know, with that little. So that's playing the E string here and playing the G string at the 12th fret and this at the 13th. Just play those two strings.
The cattle quietly grazing at the grass down by the river, where the swelling mountain water moves onward to the sea.
So obviously that's all the same. And we get to
Innocent young master, thoughts moving ever faster, has formed the plan to change the man he seems, and the poet sheathes his pen while the soldier lifts his sword. Running from across the sea, he challenges the sun, who puts him to the run.
so those all chords are all the same, all those bar chords. Once again, you're just reaching down to hit the bass string on that bar chord.
The sun, who puts him to the run.
All right, so we're just, you know, echoing the vocal. We come up on the B string, just an octave higher, same thing. And then we go to this minor chord, playing this on the D, this on the G, that on the B. And then he plays all that on the B string. I pull it off. So I've got this barred here. So that's the melody I'm playing. And you got a major chord here. So you can see how that goes. Alright, and then that rundown is starting on the B string. And then there's extra credit if you can play the bass notes. Which starts on a B and just walks down to the bottom E string. I tried and tried, you know, I can only do that with my fingers. I couldn't, there was no way I could do it with the pick. So I just had to leave the bass notes out and play that. All right, so this is where the organ comes in with these notes. Starts on the A string. And then comes down from the G string. play that on the D and the G string. Alright, now this is really bizarre. Playing this on the A string, that on the G string, slide it up 2 frets, and then on the A string you just go up 1 fret, but on the G string you go up 2. And then you can play fourths here with this on the G string, this on the B string. So you just slide it up like that. Alright, then when we move this up, we're starting now here. It's got the same intervals. Except here we have to slide the A string up just 1 fret while we slide the G string up 2, and then we're going to slide up 1 more with those notes. Alright, so Alright, so we got those. Those are weird, aren't they? That's such a cool thing. Alright, now his flute part goes. Starting on the D string, you're just going up a scale. Alright, so I'll do that really slow here. Oops. Alright, now we come down to this minor chord here. And then this like D shape. So these are just a circle of fifths kind of chords. So we go to the minor, and that's the melody that I'm playing on the G string. Go down to E shape. So those are all sort of, you know, circle of fifths. And then the next one is goes down here. I'm just playing this on the A string and this on the D string. So I just have that major third interval. So if we come out of that section, and then he sneaks this note in on the D string after before going to an E major chord. What do you do when the old man's gone? Alright, so when we get to that, what do you do? It's just E major, D major, and A major. What do you do when the old man's gone? Do you wanna be So you kind of have to decide what you're going to do and what you're going to leave out. So I just stuck with the sort of the main melody in this part. Now we're just moving that chord sequence up from up a fourth, so we were playing it in E major. Now we're going to just move it up a fourth and play a A, a G, and a D shaped chord. Alright, so see, it's exactly the same motif. You're just moving it up a fourth, starting it in E major and then going up to A major. Until the whirlpool turns you way off beam. Alright, so the last time we come down to A, G, and then we play this minor chord here. And then the organ does a straight pentatonic scale run up. Ending on this fifth interval. All right, so yeah, that's all right, and then this takes us into that instrumental section. We're going to come down and we're going to play this minor chord right here. And we're going to pluck the D string. So you can see we do it 4 times. And then play that on the B string. And then we're into the next little organ section. All right. So this is really, it's really an A major 7. I'm just playing the G string, the B string, and the E string fretted there. So that's the melody. And then it comes down to this, you know, what I decided to do, this is the chord. Because I wasn't losing a lot of harmonic information, I just decided to play the G string, and the B string. All right, so we're just going to play the B string. And then the organ plays this on the D string and B string. It's hard not to get all three strings when you pull it open. We play the same thing an octave higher. So I've got the G string and the E string here. I'm playing the same intervals, the same notes that I played down here, just an octave higher. And then you're into the next section. So we're playing just the D string, G string here, B string open, E string open. And then we're to a B shape chord. So I'm going to play that section real slow. And then you're going to come in full blast on the E suspended chord. Now it gets a little easier at this part because before we were going but when Ian comes in with his flute melody, he actually makes that little run easier. So you can repeat that 3 times and then go up on the last time. Down to an A-shaped chord. D-shaped chord, two frets more, A-shaped chord, F-sharp major chord. So you see how he's doing the same thing, he's just moving around to different chords, so it's not difficult once you figure out the pattern. So all you have to do is get that pattern down in one spot. You can just move that pattern around, so it doesn't really change. So that kind of makes it easy. You don't have a lot to remember other than where to play it. Come down from the upper class. So now we're in this B minor shape chord here. Come down, A, F sharp, E shape, D shape. My father was a man of power who everyone obeyed. And then we start the pattern on A after this. Got to put you straight. So give the man 20 years to now we're going to go into this section. So I'm playing a B chord, B-shaped chord, D string here, G string here, and the B string, E string are open. And then I'm coming back and strumming that B-shaped chord. Now I'm playing an A sus2 chord, same melody, strum, E major, come up to the F sharp major. This one's a little bit tricky because that melody Alright, so when we do that the second time, we're going to come down on the A string. We're kind of doing this diminished thing. We're playing that all on the A string. And then the bass guitar, I'm trying to establish some of the rhythm and what the bass guitar is playing too. So you can see I'm just going back and forth between the A string and the E string, and then I play all that on the A string, and then I'm to this chord, major chord. And then this part's really tricky. Okay, so what this is, it's an E major chord, and D major and A major. Kind of a lot like we've been doing this a lot, right? But that's the melody. Alright, so this is the melody. we have to do is I'm trying to outline the chords at the same time. I'm trying to outline the E major, the D major, and the A major while I'm playing some of that melody at the same time. So I'm trying to put that melody in there with the chords. And then this is the melody in between. I think it actually does that, but I chose to make it a little bit easier. Alright, so now we're going up, we're just taking that same pattern up a fourth, just kind of like we did earlier with the vocal part. So now we're coming up to A major. Alright, so now the melody up here on the A chord, G chord, and D chord is... So we have to put that in context of the A, G, and D chords. So you can see it's a little tricky. You just have to find out what picking pattern works for you. All right, and then the last time the melody goes. So you play that, come up 2 frets, and play this major chord. I play that all on the G string, but you can, whichever way is easiest for you. And then you're back in that section. Probably to me this is the hardest part of the whole song for my arrangement. I think that's it. I think those are the sections that I have not done tutorials on. Pretty challenging stuff at, up to tempo. So hope you have fun with that, you diehards out there that want to really dive in deep. There it is. So till next time, bye.